This is why I don't believe the whole nothing ever changes argument. The Kia Boys settlement has officially been cleared. People who had their cars stolen, destroyed, insurance wrecked, lives disrupted, they're finally going to start getting restitution. Not because corporations suddenly grew morals, but because accountability was forced. And this is what justice actually looks like: slow, ugly, and overdue, but real. We'll talk about it more very shortly. Stay tuned. Literally, the moment I switch over, my internet, for some reason, decides to tank. I think it's back. I think we're good. So yeah, the first thing I brought up was this. Well, this is the first time I've asked Google about it. And this is what I asked. I'm actually going to shrink this so that for editing purposes, when I go back to edit, it's not kind of like, yeah, it's edit for editing purpose. But anyway, what I said in the beginning, my opening monologue. I'm going to try to do that more often, is provide an opening monologue, because for the last 3 years, for most of us, we've had to deal with the fallout, and the fallout being what we lost, what we're losing. For the last few years, a lot of us have been picking up the pieces of this incident. My vehicle was stolen while people were doing this Kia Boys thing. And it wasn't necessarily the people involved in the Kia Boys. It was the fact that the Kia Boys were the first ones that made it known to the greater populace that certain Kia vehicles are easily stolen and can be, if you pop out the ignition, put in a flash drive that's got some firmware on it, and boom, you're good to go. And you can steal that car. Kia Boys, I have a theory of that. I don't believe just some random kids figured out how to do it and made an internet meme out of it. I believe this is alleged, or not alleged. This is just my theory and what I believe, my opinion. I believe that Kia probably released the wrong person from their job. And in doing so, the person that they released from service maybe had knowledge of the exploit, and maybe had the firmware that someone would need, or at least be able to direct people to, hey, this is actually a bigger problem than what's known, which is why it turned into a massive problem. Because out of nowhere, a bunch of kids started stealing Kia vehicles and joyriding them and crashing them and killing their friends in some instances. So I don't believe that's actually what happened. I believe somebody released the knowledge of what vehicles were affected, which is why it was a very specific target on the vehicles. It wasn't just like they were laying waste to the entire model line of Kia and Hyundai vehicles. No, they were very targeted in the vehicles they were going after. And they had to fall in within a certain parameter. They couldn't be push to start. Push to start is the first thing that disqualifies that vehicle from being able to be stolen. A push to start vehicle. So the Kia Boys did that, became a thing, and people's cars started getting stolen and crashed, and people started losing out big. So I was one of the original I was one of the first people that was hit. Like when the Kia Boys popped up in general, my vehicle was hit. Was one of the hits. Not saying that it was them, but whoever they were in league with also had access to get to my vehicle. And they tried. It was the early days, and they tried. But I think somebody had scared them off, because I watched my mom's ring cam footage, and somebody did come by and trigger the ring cam, and hers made noise. And I think that was about the time that it scared somebody off. You really couldn't see much in the ring cam, but you can kind of see something looks like rustling around in the front seat. But when cars pulled by the house, it would trigger the ring cam. So yeah, my vehicle was one of the first ones stolen, and I've been waiting since then to deal with it, to get paid back, because it's not really about getting my money back for my car. It's more or less the money I've lost out on because of this. I didn't lose my $10,000 of investment into my vehicle. I lost a major revenue stream. Like a major revenue stream. Like it tanked my livelihood. And from there I had to settle with dealing with rental cars first, and when it was no more rental cars, here's your money from insurance, figure something out. It was like $4,000, and people were like, oh, that's a good amount of money to put down on a new car. No, I tried multiple times, and they wanted twice the amount. I got $4,500. Ultimately, it was like a little over $3,000 whenever I paid back bills, because once I lost my car, a great portion of my revenue stream went with it, because I was working a regular 9-to-5 job, but I was also doing gig work on the side, make even more money, which was keeping me floating. And when my gig work went gone, because I just wasn't going to drive rental vehicles, and then something were to happen, because I've had people try to steal my car while doing Amazon deliveries. So I wasn't trying to chance that on a regular basis. So I did it semi-regularly, twice a week, and that was it. And that was grocery delivery and Amazon Flex delivery. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And I don't remember. I don't know why I thought of this. I think I was watching Candace. I may have been watching Candace, her latest episode. And I kind of stay out of it. I want to know what truly happened to Charlie, because I don't believe the Fed slop. I don't believe the ridiculous narrative, and they have to know by now. Enough independent investigations and journalism has gone above and beyond in all this to prove that Fed slop narrative is indeed that. It's them trying to explain something that they can't even explain. So I try to stay out of it and let Candace do her work, because there's a lot of people that aren't convinced on the Fort Huachuca thing and the private snuffy thing. Let Candace cook. Let her do her thing. She's given us tons of gems without even trying. Like laborless gem mining from Candace Owens. So let her cook. Let her do her thing. If she wants to dive down a rabbit hole, stop stopping her. keep trying to stop her. To use an Iron Man thing. Stop stopping. Stop trying to stop her. Let her dive down her rabbit hole. It's what people of her kind of mind do. I would like to lump myself into it, but she's a lot better. She's had the ability to refine her skills in that department a lot better than I have. I've just been doing it nilly-willy as life goes on, type of thing. I mean, I'm really good at analyzation. I'm good at speaking, that's a damn sure. I'm really good at analyzing things and kind of like maybe not answering questions, but asking other questions that kind of point eyes in other directions and get people thinking in other ways. And that's the kind of analyzing I do. I almost said analyzation again. So for this Kia settlement, I was still under the impression, like, I mean, obviously a lot of us are, that we're still in the, I don't remember what the legal term is. It's down there in the bottom, but it's frozen right now. All the people that are affected, it's frozen for right now because of appeals. They're delayed in appeals. So I wanted to come and ask, are there any updates on the Kia settlement payout surrounding the Kia Boys settlement? As of January 2026, there are 2 separate settlements related to the Kia. So it goes down and explains the 2 different settlements. So I got to read through this. I didn't see any payouts here, so it didn't strike me as anything. But when I got down here, I'm like, wait, that's not the amount that was. And I was like, okay, I must be part of this one, the consumer class action. And this is a multi-state attorney general settlement. So far, Kia and Hyundai is set to pay out $209 million. So I got down here and I was like, wait, are you sure it's only 45? Because I was kind of stuck here. I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right. My letter said I'd be getting upwards of 9K, and it kind of goes through that. Yeah, you're probably right in that because you're one of the originals. The Hagens-Berman settlement. And as it's going through, it's explaining why my payout might be $9,000. Vehicle stuff. I bought my car when it was certified pre-owned, 2016 Optima, for $27,000 in February of 2020, and it was totaled sometime in 2023, 2024. I can't remember exactly when it was. It's been a couple years, to say the least. I had it paid down to only owing a little over 4K and was never in a major accident. Rolled forward and hit another car while I fought an attempted thief out of it. Somebody tried to steal it while I was delivering Amazon packages. I fought them out of it, and it rolled forward and hit the car in front of me. So then I go through, and it goes through and explains, okay, yeah, 60% rule, blah, blah, blah. The remaining balance, because I say that because it starts to go into the remaining balance of the vehicle would be paid out less, or the payout would be less the remaining balance vehicle. And that's where I'm like, remaining balance was paid by insurance before the class action lawsuit. And it's like, well, okay, well, that's cool. That means you get your maximum value they told you. Why your 9K figure is plausible. 2016 was valued at roughly 15 to 16 grand at the time of theft. 60% of the value would be about $9 to $9,600. I already paid what I owed. And it's like, okay, but make sure that you've done everything. I'm like, yeah, no, I've done everything. And I'm waiting for the 2 people who filed appeals for no reason in everyone else's opinion, because the Facebook post pops up with the class action lawsuit every once in a while, but it's also lumping in the new lawsuit, the $9 million lawsuit as well. If you're affected by this, blah, 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 blah. And I've posted on that and everyone who sees it and essentially been part of the lawsuit, they'd say something about it, and almost every one of them has liked my comment because it's been about these two people, Ruth Rubin and Donald Berner. It'll make you mad looking up their stuff, but it's public knowledge. As you can see, I didn't directly ask it. I just made reference to them. I'm waiting for the two people who filed appeals, and it goes through that. They filed appeals. The court, because they filed the appeals in the Ninth Circuit Court, which is a higher court than originally did the ruling, the payout ruling. So they went to the Ninth Circuit Court to attempt to appeal to them. To me, it was again, my opinions. These are mine. In my opinion, they went to the Ninth Circuit Court because that was in their mind the better chance they had to get this whole thing rerouted back to square one. To me, it was an attempt to do that, which is why they appealed to a higher court. It's basically the second opinion in law. It's going for a second opinion. No, we're going to file appeals with the Ninth Circuit Court and try to get them to make a ruling against, because that's what they did. Where was it? Because they were trying to get the original judge's ruling ruled out. And their argument is, they argued in front of the 3-judge panel in November 2025 that the settlement is unfair because it primarily compensates people whose cars were actually stolen or damaged, like me, but offers no value to the millions of other owners whose cars haven't been stolen yet, but have still lost resale value. So as I'm reading them, like, So these people aren't even directly affected by this. They just want paid in an oversimplified way. In an oversimplified way, yes. But legally, they argue they are protecting the millions of owners who didn't have their cars stolen, but still lost money in other ways. If they didn't have their cars stolen, how are they losing money? Well, when they go to resell. I don't want to hear that. I'm losing money actively by not having a reliable vehicle. And as a matter of fact, my current vehicle is over at Wahlberg being looked at for what work needs done to it, which I can't afford to even do. At the current moment, I can't even afford to get my car back from them if they were to call me and say, this is what needs done. And I would want to go in for a second opinion. I wouldn't even be able to do that. And these people are worried about possibly being able to resell their vehicle for what it was once worth, while the rest of us are still losing for what we lost. So, the two objectors holding up your payout, Ruth Rubin and Donald Berner, claim the current $200 million is unfair because missing compensation, it pays people like you who suffered actual theft or damage, but offers almost nothing to owners whose cars are still safe but have dropped in resale value because they are now known to be easy to steal. Insurance costs. They argue the settlement should also reimburse everyone for the skyrocketing insurance premiums many Kia owners faced even without a theft incident. That has to... Do you think Kia is really going to care about any of that? And this is why if the judges laughed in their faces, I would probably laugh too. I probably would have triggered the judges laughing the moment I heard these arguments. Because you got to be kidding me, right? I guarantee these people don't pay what I pay in insurance. But even before, well, actually, as a matter of fact, perfect example, my Chevy truck. Well, that's a truck. It's going to be more expensive. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It was around the same price. And as a matter of fact, they were still trying to, they were charging me for the Kia stuff as if it was accidents or they were basically looking at it as it was my fault, which is why they increased my insurance rates. That's why that was their justification. Once I went back and checked all the paperwork after I left that insurance company, I realized what they had been doing and why they were essentially illegally allowed to charge me as much as they wanted in insurance without real justification. And that's because they took all the Kia stuff, and put it in there and coded it in there as accidents. That's how they were coding it. They weren't coding it as somebody broke the law against my vehicle. No, they were coding it as if I was actively getting into accidents when my car was stolen. And people would say, well, that's not true. Don't let me pull up the paperwork. Really don't let me pull up the paper. Well, it's going to take me a lot of time to redact personal information, but I will pull up the paperwork. I have the paperwork. And I was fuming when I found out. That's how they were allowed to charge me almost twice what they were charging me, because they had the money they had lost out because my car was stolen and I didn't go and instantly trade it in and get a new car. Because, in my opinion, that's how it felt. Once I found out that's what they were doing and that's what they did, that's the first thought that came to mind. Okay, so you're punishing me because you didn't ultimately win in this situation by attempting to jack up my ability to get insurance now, because now you're reporting all of that stuff as accidents against me. So when another insurance company, your friends, AKA, go to look at my driving record, they're like, well, you got all this accident stuff all of your record. Your insurance record shows this, because they all share the information together. They're all in cahoots with one another. When you leave one and go to another, for some reason, somebody decides to bust out your window and steal your stuff. That has been the pattern every time I've changed insurance companies. I almost do it as a way to see how long it's going to take before somebody decides to break in my vehicle. And as a matter of fact, I dumped State Farm's insurance when I found out that. I was like, you know what? I ain't paying them. No, hell no. When I found out what they were doing, no, I ain't paying them. So I dumped them. Instantly went to I could instantly go to USAA. I never had their insurance before so I instantly went to them. You know what happened the next day? Well, not the next day, maybe a couple months later. No, I've had this truck for a long time, for like 2 or 3 years now. 2 years. I would say 2 years. I've had this truck for about 2 years now, and nobody's ever gone through it. When I picked up USAA insurance, somebody decided to go through it. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I picked up this insurance on my birthday. No, not on my birthday. It was like 2 weeks before my birthday. My birthday's November 15th. It was like 2 weeks before my birthday, because I realized that I realized I wasn't going to be able to pay State Farm. They were wanting like $500 from me. I can't afford $500 for a 22-year-old truck. Oh, it's not 500. You just didn't pay your previous month's bill, so now it's 500. Exactly. You're telling me that 20-plus-year-old truck is worth $250 a month in insurance? It's not likely to be stolen. It's very likely that it's going to be rummaged through, and I don't leave anything in there that's worth any money. So there's no justification for saying that my truck costs $250 to insure. Well, you live in a bad neighborhood. Well, I wonder why these neighborhoods are so bad. I wonder why they are. Because this is the only place where affordable housing is, where immigration gets pushed to. All the bad people are pushed to these neighborhoods where good people can't survive barely at all because they get stolen from so much that replacing things drives them into a hole. And it's not replacing vanity items. It's replacing things that actually help someone's livelihood or part of someone's livelihood. So when you steal people's cars or you break into their stuff, it's usually happening in a neighborhood where people can't afford anything. So the reason these people went to the Ninth Circuit Court was because they thought that they would get favored being from the same rich neighborhoods because they're both wealthy. And again, these neighborhoods are poor because all of it gets funneled here. Because we're not part of some club, we all get stacked on top of one another. And we get inundated by refugees and illegal immigrants and people you want to shuffle around the city because you don't like where they live and you want to take their neighborhoods. So yeah, I'm like, nah. They're like, it goes through that. The hearing arguments were officially heard on November 19th, 4 days after my birthday. And it's like, the way judges usually take 3 to 6 months, and it's like, you might not hear anything between March and May. And I'm like, well, that's BS. They don't care about anyone else other than what they can get in return. They're using the I'm doing for everyone when they can easily lobby Kia to bring the resale value back up. What do they expect to happen legally? Do they expect for the court to force Kia to buy their vehicles back? What are they actually asking for? And it goes in and explains it. It explains it is definitely frustrating. I mean, I'm typing it, so it doesn't have an ability to read my voice. While you're waiting for actual losses to be covered, they're effectively trying to rewrite the entire deal. As of January 2026, here's what the objectors, Ruth Rubin and Donald Berner, are legally asking the Ninth Circuit Court to do and what they hope to gain. They aren't necessarily asking for a vehicle buyback, which is usually reserved for lemon law cases. Instead, they're asking for the court to void the current settlement approval and force Kia to go back to the negotiation table to add diminution. Let me read that. Hold on. Diminution of value payments. Go. They want cash for every owner whose car has dropped in resale value due to its reputation, even if it's never been stolen. insurance premium coverage. They want reimbursement for higher insurance rates that cost all Kia owners. Basically saying they want paid for the drop in value of vehicles, as if vehicles don't already drop in value. And it's a known thing with every dealership. They actually want to give you as much money as possible. They're almost pretty much wanting to trade you one for one on most of these dealerships. I still get lobbied to give my car to Germain because they're the ones that done all the work on it. And I had to email them like, look, that car was stolen, it was crashed, and I don't have it anymore. I'm currently waiting to buy a new vehicle. You know what their response from there was? Well, let us know if you're looking to buy a new Kia. No. They have lost me. They've gained some of it back by actually going to going to the table with something where people are getting like, because a lot of us, we lost our vehicles, which were about $10,000, between 5 and 10 grand. That's what probably a lot of us lost when our vehicles were stolen. And the reason I'm okay with even saying before, I lost a lot more than 10 grand. I've lost a lot more than 10 grand, like 20, 30, 40 grand, maybe. I'm okay with the 10 grand because the 10 grand aligns with my current plans. Because my current plans aren't really to buy some new flashy vehicle. I don't want some new flashy vehicle. I don't want one. I want a manual transmission vehicle that can't be stolen by somebody who's just thinking that they're about to have fun for the night. About to wow for the night. No, not in my car. I'm going to get a manual transmission vehicle, most likely going to put the money back into my truck. And then I'm going to probably buy a food truck, a little hot dog stand, Euro food truck, where I can experiment with street food. And I'll do that. That's what I want to use my 10 grand for. Because my 10 grand is going to make me even more money than what these people seek to gain. They only, like, really, what do you expect to gain? Like, this is even my new question to ask. Like, how much more money would you expect to gain in resale value? It's not like any of these people decided right then and there to go turn in their vehicles. No, I can guarantee you they probably upgraded their Kia. They're probably driving Kia Tellurides or Hyundai Palisades, something like that. None of these people had to settle for anything. Yeah, if they win, the entire settlement would be thrown out, forcing a restart of the entire legal process, which hurts so many people. Like, that's why I question their true motives, because you can't say they're doing this for everybody when most people will be hurt by this. Some people will have exhausted their lifespan by the time they would see any type of restitution from this. So what is their true gain from this? Truly, what is your true gain from this? So that's what it was. Legally, they are hoping the appeals court rules that the original judge abused his discretion by approving a deal that adequately compensates victims like you, but provides no value to everyone else. Oh, yeah. And if they win, the whole thing would be thrown out and it would go back to the drawing board in another 3-4 years. And to me, that I feel like that was these people's plan. Their plan wasn't to get more compensation, wasn't even to get compensation for themselves. Their whole plan was to get this thrown out, restarted, and then they would do it again. Oh, well, I don't like that one. Throw it out, restart it. Throw it out, restart it. And then again, by the time anybody actually got anything from this, nobody in the original lawsuit would have gotten anything. Because it's not like this all carries over to your family until it's all said and done. And even then, I don't know the law in that. I do not know the law in that. If you die before your payout goes through, what happens to that payout? Does it go to your next of kin? Like, what happens from there? And that's what's insane about these two people, is that they were willing to gamble with people's lives for helping everybody. It does not seem that way. It does not. So as we keep going through, I'm just getting irritated and agitated because I'm reading this. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Most legal analysts believe the Ninth Circuit Court will reject their appeal. Historically, these courts side with settlements that provide substantial relief to those with the most severe out-of-pocket damages, like my total car. And it goes back to the summary of it. And that's exactly my argument. If they were worried about everyone, they wouldn't be actively standing in the way of the people who were hurt the most. And it goes to exactly the frustration of real world losses versus hypothetical losses. And the fact that they can sit and say it's truly contradictory. Like they're going through and essentially explaining how contradictory these two people are, how truly contradictory they are. And they're doing it for everyone is the exact opposite of what they're doing. And in my opinion, it is what I just said. They're trying to get it thrown out over and over and over so that by the time it matters, it doesn't matter. Because no one is left alive from the original lawsuit. It's like getting rid of all the witnesses. We are the witnesses in this case. We are the witnesses, and if they force us to die off one by one, Kia and Hyundai makes billions and trillions of dollars and never has to pay out a dime. Well, you're young. Doesn't mean I still can't starve to death. If I can't get around, it's hard for me to work. And if I can't work, it's hard for me to buy food. And if I can't buy food, it's hard for me to eat. And if it's hard for me to eat, it's hard for me to start surviving. So you tell me. You tell me. So yes, they are not doing it for everyone. They are doing it for a specific goal that they have in mind. And I called that goal. I'm going to call it that goal. I just said. And then I go through this. I'm just waiting for greedy white people to be shot down, and the rest of us can start rebuilding what we lost. I've looked into these two, and neither of them are struggling in the slightest. And it goes into some weird thing. Well, in the early 1900s, the Osage Nation of Oklahoma discovered, I don't need that. I'm referring to their bogus claims being shot down because they're nothing more than Karen white people whose greed has no bounds. Because that's essentially what they just said. They explained all the Karenism of it. Literally all the Karenism of it. And they go into legal process is finally nearing its end. The legal process is finally nearing its end. And as of January 8th, 2026, those specific bogus claims have faced a major defeat. Appeals successfully rejected. January 2026 update. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals issued a ruling today, January 8th, 2026, rejecting the arguments brought by objectors Ruth Rubin and Donald K. Berner. The court's stance: the panel of judges explicitly disagree with Rubin's claim that the deal was inequitable for those who didn't have their cars stolen. The ruling, the court stated that it is perfectly legal and equitable to prioritize higher compensation for people like you, the theft subclass, because you suffered the most actual harm compared to those who have lower resale value. And it just starts talking about that. And I'm like, wait, huh? What do you mean? Did they actually deny their claims? That's hilarious. Like, they literally did. As of January 8th, the Ninth Circuit Court issued 2 opinions officially denying the claims by those 2 people. No harm, no foul. The panel explicitly rejected her claim, arguing the deal was unfair because it gave nothing to people whose cars weren't stolen. The judge stated that the settlement is allowed to prioritize those with actual harm. Because that's what they were doing. She was standing in its way because she wasn't being compensated enough or fairly enough, and there were people that were getting more than her. The theft subclass wins. The court ruled it is perfectly equitable for you, the theft subclass, to get much larger payouts because you actually lost your car, unlike the objectors who just wanted cash for theoretical losses. Finality. The panel found the district court did not err in its original approval, meaning the $145 million plus common fund is finally safe from these specific legal hurdles. With the Karen hurdles cleared. And I totally forgot I even said anything about the Karen. I'm like, wait, how did you know to call them Karen hurdles? That's exactly what I've been calling them, though I've not done it on stream yet. The term is actually becoming a bit of a legal meme in this case because of how lopsided the arguments were. While it's not a formal legal term, it captures the exact sentiment the court just addressed. People who suffered zero theft or damage trying to block a $200 million fund for people who lost their vehicles just because they wanted a small inconvenience payout. Yeah, they tried to use the entitlement argument. Well, my car lost value. I should be entitled to more money. Which means the original payout isn't good enough. Then they used the manager approach. They tried to go to a higher court, the Ninth Circuit Court, to get them to side with them. Again, that's the reason the Karen tactic is to go to the manager isn't because the manager seemingly knows more. No, it's because the manager sits in a higher level of authority, and a Karen instantly assumes that they are at one of the highest levels of authority. Because what happens when a manager doesn't do what they say? Oh, I'm going to go to your CEO then. They start talking higher and going higher and higher and higher. And that's exactly what happened here. That's exactly what happened here. The original judge was like, okay, all these people have submitted their paperwork. The original claim seems to be doing really well against that. The fund is doing really well against the amount of money that the people who have had the most losses are claiming. Oh yeah, we'll go with that. And what makes it even crazier is that it really didn't take long for the 200 million, 145 million plus 200 million. It didn't take long for that to come to go in agreement. It did not take long. And yeah, well, some people are like, well, that should be what's scary about it. No, that's actually what's the most insane about it. Because put it this way, my stepfather was in a major accident with the trucking company he works for. He wasn't driving, his co-driver was. His co-driver got distracted and hit, I believe, a parked semi off the road. He's still dealing with the medical ramifications of that. Not only legal. Now, see, the Kia Boy settlement thing started after his stuff went into court. Well after. And he's still fighting for his money. He's still fighting for it. Medical bills piled up to the ceiling. My parents are hurting because of that. Like, even worse than him continuing to drive toward his 60s. He's up there in his 50s, and he still drives, misses holidays, misses birthdays, misses all kinds of events because he's got to go somewhere to haul some stuff for somebody. He's still waiting for that. It's been years. The Kia settlement has developed, progressed, and landed faster than his settlement. And it will land even faster because their projections are between, I think it was like May and June. Somewhere around there. It's May or June of this year is when they're expecting everything to start progressing down the route. So yes, 2 Karens got defeated. And it makes me so happy. So happy. Like vindicated happy. So happy. And all of us who've been dealing with this can now put some type of peace back into the place that was lost with all this. Because we didn't just lose our vehicles. A lot of us lost livelihood for this. And a lot of us have been struggling so much since this that we're almost buried in a hole because of it. And do you think anything happened to the kids that stole my car? Oh, no. No, absolutely not. They got their little slaps on the wrist. They're sitting in a little daycare center. Get visits from their parents. And when they get out, they get to walk the street like hardened criminal. But guess what? I get let known everything about this kid now. And he slips up once, I will be the one at his court hearing saying, with my letter saying, I told all of you. We would be right back here. And where are we? Right back here. Because you think a kid like that's going to learn? No. He stole my car twice. He stole my car twice. I have the evidence down there that he stole my car. And I'm going to say the timestamp on it. It's from the first time. And the police didn't want that. Detectives didn't want that for evidence. Lawyers didn't want that for evidence. No, they, as a matter of fact, they never contacted me to take that from me. Take the evidence that was left behind in my car when they crashed it after being pitted off the road during a chase. I have the evidence right there. One of them is locked, and the other, I screenshotted every bit of the evidence in it. And I have the passcode for the other one because I created it. The police actively denied taking evidence off my hands that would make sure that these kids wouldn't be allowed to go out and steal anybody else's vehicle, let alone escalate in their gangsterism. Because now they're hardened criminals. They're going to come out, they're going to lie to their families, pretend to their families and friends, and to just go right back to doing the same things they were doing before. People like that don't change. They do not change. And the lawyers that allowed for them to only be charged with receiving stolen property, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You enable kids like this to go out and continue to do this stuff. So you should be ashamed of yourselves. And if it was up to me, I would take your license to practice law. I would take them. He has the right to be defended, but he doesn't have the right to have his charges be misrepresented, because that's exactly what happened. His charges were misrepresented, and you allowed evidence not to be shown that proved that he is the assailant in that, not some innocent bystander who took the car. I just got it from somebody. Is there any evidence of you stealing the car? I don't think so. Well, I don't think you can get into my cell phone. Well, you better hope not. But I can. I have his videos. I have his pictures. I did have access to his Facebook and his Snapchat and all the criminals he talks to on Facebook, because that's the only people that the kid talks to are criminals. I've seen the evidence with these peepers. So you can't tell me that the kid, he's capable of being better, doing better. Bull. That's bull. And you all know it is. So when he ends up back into court, arrested for another crime, make sure you send me a letter so I can show up. Because I have some words. And they're just going to be a whole lot of I told you so. Did you listen to my letter the first time? Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, go figure. Because if you would have, the kid wouldn't have been charged with receiving stolen property. He would have been charged with grand theft. But no. He's a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid with his whole life ahead of him. I truly hope this is a rehabilitation factor for him. I truly hope. Because again, I'll be let known that you're back arrested, and I'll be at your court dates. I'll be at all of them. I will make sure that these progressive policies allowing people like him to run free for 30, 40, 50 years and just committing crime after crime with no real punishment or accountability, I will make sure that that does not happen. Because the kid will not get to escalate. I will be watching him like a hawk. Really, not really. I would just be watching my mail for the letter that tells me essentially his whereabouts during his legal cycle. Because I'm like registered as a victim under him. I'm not really a victim. I'm more or less like a pissed off bystander that he stole from. Victim means he actually got me. No, I can guarantee you that the kid wouldn't have gotten away. Ask the kid that tried to steal my car while I was delivering Amazon packages. Ask him what happened to him. Ask him. You could probably find him. He's got a jacked up jaw right about here. Probably a chipped or cracked tooth. And all you got to say is, who's the one that got knocked out by the Amazon driver over here up by Goodale? Yeah. So I'll be waiting for the letters. I'll be waiting for the letters. You'll get arrested again because that's the kind of people you are. You're not good people. Your family aren't good people. Because if they were, the first time you got arrested, I believe I read that in your phone. This is not even your first time being arrested. This is like your second or third time of being arrested. And it's not even your first time with the whole receiving stolen property thing. I read that in there too. It's not even the first time. The dude took a video of them stealing my car. I have it on video. I have a video of them stealing the car and driving at 100 plus miles an hour. Yeah, but the cops didn't want that. Yeah, nobody wanted that. No, they didn't want that. Because it would have put these kids in a lot more trouble than they actually were allowed to be in. It would have negated the whole liberal policy and liberal justice thing. So yeah, I'm so happy. So happy, so glad that we can all actually start putting things back together. I'm very happy for this. I'm very happy for everyone who's actually going to get paid back from it. And there will be some people that would say, well, you only care because you're affected. I only know about it because I'm affected. Let's be real. Let's be real. If this actually didn't touch me, I wouldn't even know it existed. This would have been hidden away like it has been. Which is why two people were able to go in and Karenize and attempt to Karenize the entire case. And they would have got away with it too if it weren't for us pesky kids. I showed up. That's what happened. And when I called the line for it, the message that I left was not kind. I wasn't evil. I wasn't threatening. I was just basically saying I am taking the stand for all of the people that are involved in this, because it's to the point where it is unacceptable that we are hurting while other people just get to do whatever. These people who have no stake in this game have the most say in it and have filed appeals against the rest of us being able to get what we are rightfully deserving of. And I hadn't even known that they weren't directly involved. That's why this up here is seemingly so shocked. I can read the context in it because I was truly shocked. I was truly shocked because I hadn't dove into it that deep with these two people. I just did some research on who they are, and that was it. I had no idea that they actually had not had anything happen to them. Which makes sense. You're in gated communities. Why would any of this happen to you? No, because all of the people that are actually affected by this stuff are the people that live in the neighborhoods that I live in. We don't get the luxury of gated communities and 24-hour police patrols. We don't get the luxury of those things. We get to call the cops, and hopefully we're not being murdered. Well, that's the only way they're going to get here in a timely manner, because they're actually probably working on things where people are being murdered. Well, I mean, they're like 4 streets over, but they got to deal with that murder before they come over here and deal with me being murdered. So unless I'm being murdered, nobody's really going to care. And that's the neighborhoods that we live in. The people who get stolen from, people who get vandalized. Like, we are the ones that always lose out on all of this. Not the ones that say, well, I worked hard and I deserve to live in a gated community behind these walls. But you okay, that's fine. But you don't have the right to stand in the way of the rest of us. Because that's exactly what you tried to do every time. Your Karenistic tactics are to stand in the way of everybody else because you believe you have some moral superiority over people. And I'm so glad 2 Karens got put in their place. I'm so glad. Be Karen, get treated like a Karen. That's all there is to it. So I'm so glad that the people that are affected by this, myself included, and yes, I am going to be the loudest proponent when it involves me. But if it's against people and I hear about it, you better believe I'm going to have an opinion about it. I get to have an opinion when things happen to other people. But I don't have to throw my whole soul into everything that's happening to everybody else. Because I got to take care of me first. If I ain't taking care of me, then how the hell can I even attempt to take care of anybody else? And that's what it kills me. It's always the people who have the ability to be out there. You got money, won't you give it to people? You got all this, won't you give it to people? You got a home that's massive, won't you move refugees into your home? Why do they got to be moved into these neighborhoods that are already hurting anyway? Just so they can tank the housing market in that neighborhood even further. Why? So you guys can come in and gentrify it, buy our houses up for $2 and change? Because that's what it seems like. It's always what it feels like you guys do. And people want to say, well, you can't really gentrify a white neighborhood. Gentrification is only for black people. No, gentrification is just that. Going into a neighborhood and saying, oh, I could do this better. And then buying everything up for cheap dollar and building something that you think is better. Which is like apartment buildings that are 75, 100% increase in cost of what it was before. You put in like 4,000 gastro pub bars, Starbucks on every other corner. That's what your gentrification is. Or you buy everything up and you run a highway through it. that too. I've seen that one done in history. Goes back to the argument I had before, where affordable housing only works in neighborhoods that already fall under the poverty level. Otherwise, it's not affordable. Because middle class families are now struggling like they're in poverty. The working class is struggling as if they're in poverty. While the white collar class, the corporate class, they're being redacted in PDF files. They're buying gaming companies or like gaming conglomerates for billions of dollars. They're going to space. That's why I can't bring it into myself to put any faith in anyone who's not directly communicated with me on a personal level. Because it's too easy to agendavize people. It's too easy for people to have a reason to do things and a justification to follow through with it. It's too easy nowadays. And that's why I feel myself slipping further and further away from the greater society. Like to the point where I wouldn't mind living remotely and just talking to the 7 billion people from afar. Because we're being shown day in and day out what we can and can't trust, neither of which are mutually exclusive to one another. Like, we're being told we can't trust that, while being showed we can trust this. But then it gets proved we couldn't trust what we're being shown, but we could actually trust what we were being told. Like, and then it backflips. What do we trust anymore? What do we trust? We don't trust anything. We can't put faith anywhere. And hope? That. Hope is something. Hope is a luxury, really. Hope is a luxury. I haven't been hopeful for anything in a long time. And I've not been proved wrong. I really have not. Because what is there to be hopeful for? Really, what is there to be hopeful for? I would love to know, of all the things that are going on, what I should be hopeful for. My $10,000 payout from the Kia settlement. But is that hopeful? Or is that justice? Or is that rightfully deserved? Maybe I can be hopeful that I'm actually going to see my payout and be able to put it toward my progression forward. Maybe that's what I can be hopeful. I'll be hopeful for that. But it's a thin bit of hope. It's a very thin bit of hope. Because, I mean, it also goes into, like, something that happened today. Because I actually wasn't going to go live. Really wasn't going to go live. I was just going to. It's just been rough for the last couple of days. I've been reaching out to different places for some type of assistance to at least just help me with my vehicle, help me get my truck back on the road so that I can put myself back to work. I don't need money. I just go over to Mark Wahlberg Chevrolet and tell them I'm here to pay for this vehicle to be fixed. Here's the parts that he has that can do some of the work. Just fix his truck so he can get back to work. And that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to reach out to places right next to applying for jobs. So I have to walk everywhere. I can't afford to take Ubers everywhere. The money that I have right now I have to survive on it until something happens with, I'm this is what I'm doing to make something happen. I'm keeping my presence on the internet alive, keeping my voice going, not letting people stop me from doing what I do. Not let people dissuade me with their negativity. Not let people make me feel inferior in a space that they think I don't belong in. This is why I've been live. That and my rabbit. Like yeah. So like I said, it's outside of even me. As I said, the working class is struggling a lot. So when I hear things, when I hear Caroline Levitt or whatever her name is, I don't really follow. I'm not good with people's names. I'm terrible with people's names, only because I'm a face person. I know people by their faces, their actions, and who they are as a person. To me, a face is just mouth noise. The mouth noise I use to get your attention. Directed to you to get your attention. So when I hear things like prices are down, it makes me wonder, like, says who? And so I put out on in social media posts that I see these things pop up in. I'm like, what do you mean prices are down? As a matter of fact, I did it in a video. I said, what do you mean prices are down? Like, just because you've saved us 25 cents on bread doesn't mean prices are down. Just because you saved me 15 cents on milk doesn't mean prices are down. And I had people come into the comments and say, yeah, that's exactly what we want. We want prices, like gas prices to be down and grocery prices to be down. That's like the only thing we're worried about. And then, like, seriously? Is that truly what you're only truly worried about how much it costs to drive your car to the grocery store and buy groceries and then drive home? Or drive to work? Or take your kids places? Now you're only worried about fuel. Okay. So if you're only worried about gas prices and grocery prices, then you're okay with the constant increase in property taxes, insurance, vehicle insurance, health insurance, medical expenses, medical insurances, health insurance. You said that twice. Well, yeah, that's skyrocketing. Health insurance and health costs are. So, and that's my point, is you can't say I'm only worried about, like, the people are only worried about these two things in prices and not address the other part of the argument. Because again, I don't really care that, yeah, you saved me more on gas. That means I can work more. Okay. You're saving me money on groceries. Okay. That means I won't starve to death as fast. Because it's still not affordable to buy groceries. It's still not really affordable to drive. But we make do. We make do with what we have and what we can. So to tell me that prices are down, but not show me any data that shows housing prices are down, the costs of living in general are down, like none of these prices are actually down, and lowering gas prices and grocery prices have literally done nothing. There, that's the what do they call it? The nothing burger of what we really asked for. That's the nothing burger of what we asked for. Get your corporations under control. Get your private equity out of the single family homes, out of any of this. Any living space should not be managed by a company who's being managed by another company, who's owned by another company, who's owned by another company, who benefits, whose sole purpose is to benefit some other person in another company. Single family homes shouldn't be owned by anybody but families. And even a bank owning them should be very subjective. It would be like, why does the bank have control of that property? The bank didn't work with those people as much as they could to stay in their home. They had to foreclose on their home. You mean to tell me there's literally absolutely nothing that bank could do to keep from those people from losing their home? Now, I'm not talking about renters in the buying situation. This still covers renters. Renters shouldn't be joshed and gamed by private equity firms. Well, then you're talking about having to deal with slumlords. Not if you make the slumlord actually take care of these properties. The money that they're getting should be going into an investment in those properties. Otherwise, then guess what? The money that I get to pay you starts to accrue me a percentage of ownership and entitleability to this, to say around this place. Because if I live here for so many years, I don't want to constantly see the bulk of the things get done being cutting trees down, trimming limbs, and cutting grass and mulching. No, because the most of my money isn't for the beautification of where I live. It's the making sure the place don't fall down, make sure my doors are sealed, make sure my windows are sealed, make sure that I'm not having to go out and buy a bunch of random stuff to seal all this stuff because you guys fail as a company because you want to maximize profits and lessen expenses. Because that's exactly what happens. That's why private equity should not be in the single family home industry. Go manage a McDonald's or something. Go manage another company's business. Get out of the home business. Because you sitting here ravaging everything there is about a home and home buying and home ownership for personal gain and profit is why I don't believe that you all should exist at all. At all. The idea of you all should not exist. And the people that work for you, they're just as bad as you. They are just as bad. They are just as bad. They're no different than a debt collector. Well, you got the debt, you need to pay it. If most of these debts that are given out are purposely given out to people that are obviously incapable of paying it back. It's predatory. It's a patterned practice that lenders and banks purposely lend money that they know they won't get back. It's a whole thing. Ask why the 2008 housing crash happened, and you'll find out. So no, I don't believe prices are down. I haven't seen a justification of evidence to show that. So you can't say prices are down. Because for the common man and the common worker, no, they're not. Costs are still rising. So don't tell me that they are. And don't give me no economist gobbledygook. Did you fail to remember I had to take a stupid economy class. I had to sit in an economics class and listen to literally the biggest bunch of gibberish BS that I've ever heard. It's all literally a bunch of fake nonsense for people to feel justified and useful to say that I shouldn't be spending money. You need to go spend money. You need to stop spending money. You need to spend more money. That's all the economists do. They try to dictate how buying and selling works by creating some fabricated ideology around how it actually works. So you can't tell me prices and costs are down, because they're not. For the common man, they are not. And you've just caused them to increase even higher by essentially telling the rest of the world, we'll come after you, no problem. Don't worry about it. Which literally puts the rest of the friggin' world on high alert against the United States. And now the rest of the world is like, you know what? We're not going to deal with these bullies much longer, even if it takes all of us to go after you. Like, is that really your plan, to turn the entire world against us? Because you're working on it. You're working on it real well. I didn't vote for that. I didn't vote for you to turn the entire world against me. I voted for America first. And you've not really made an America first decision at all. I've not seen hardly a single America first decision. You've made all decisions for Israel. You've made all decisions for Bibi Netanyahu. And you've made every decision against the American public. Well, maybe not the ones who love doing the blobbergasting. It's my word. I created it just now. Which is funny, because I had people call me a grifter for saying that, like, who's saying these prices are down? Who's saying our prices are down? Like, some economist? No, because the regular people aren't. I had somebody call me a grifter. You need to find another grift. It's hilarious, because not one bit of that's all they said. You need to find a new grift, buddy. They didn't say anything of why they disagreed with the argument. They didn't say any of that. They just straight up, you need to find a new grift. Is that the new you're narcissist thing? Is that the right-wing narcissist thing? Like Democrats had, oh, you're a narcissist. You're a misogynist. You're a narcissist. You're just psychobabble fascist. Democrats got that. So the right wing's got, oh, you're just a grifter. Oh, you're just a grifter. Do you even know what a grifter is? It's somebody who says and does things for an agenda. Like, that's why they created the term rhino for Republicans that are making liberal decisions. You know, that's what they use that term against them too, right? They use grifter against rhinos because they're only set to benefit themselves. They're making decisions for financial gain. Please know what a grifter is before you call somebody a grifter. I'm just going to say that. And no, I don't know where the argument came from that prices are down. I don't know why she would even say that on TV. Like, did she really think that just because gas and groceries are down, that the overall cost of living is down? Because we didn't ask for gas and groceries. We asked for the cost of living. And it's like almost specifically those terms. Lower cost of living. Like, in big bold letters in the sky. And in smoke. So no, prices aren't down. Costs aren't down. Nothing's down. And we're continued to be lied to. And gaslit. Gaslit, lied to, attacked, called a grifter. Oh, I love it. I'm not going to say I feed off the hate and I'm fueled by it, but it just makes me think like how far down you have to fall in intelligence to not actually engage somebody in a conversation, but instead just avoid any and all conversation about it. Throw out an easy word, hot button word that's going to get a bunch of people. Oh yeah, I know a grifter. That means he must be talking about. I don't need to watch a video. He must be talking about something that I don't like. And that's why people throw it out. People don't like other people being called grifters. Call them a grifter. It doesn't hurt me. It gives me more content to talk about. Because while at the same time, the Minnesota thing, the shooting in Minnesota, it's terrible. It's terrible because somebody died and people were just like, whatever. Like, yeah, there are people outraged. Yeah. I mean, they're outraged. But are they truly outraged for the right reasons? Or are they seeing their agenda is being met with force? Because what I see is a human being was killed and people were just blowing it off. It's like, whatever. Like, have we truly lost our humanity? Have we really become a desensitized species to humanity and humility? Because like being okay with people being with like I don't know, it's a very touchy subject because to say I'm not okay with people dying would mean that somebody that truly deserves to die doesn't actually deserve to die. But that's not actually what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when we're just so okay with death not just being in movies and film, and for those that are for bad, like heinous, the worst of the worst people, when we're just okay with death, where's the line? Where do we draw the line? Because soldiers who were surrounded by death still can find it hard to get used to. And most have actually done it will say you never truly get used to it at all. You just become numb to it. Me personally, I've not been put into that situation. But it makes sense. It makes sense. So if soldiers being surrounded by death at a moment's notice aren't okay with it, why are civilians becoming okay with it? Why are the people that are supposed to be making the reason you serve mean something? Why are they the ones that are all of a sudden okay with death at any and every turn? Yes, people get killed every day, but we don't have, we haven't had this much death in your face. And it's because of technology. It's because of everywhere there's a camera. The government doesn't need to put cameras up on every street corner and every building in the United States. We do it ourselves. We keep ourselves on camera. We keep ourselves monitored. So they don't need to do any of that. And like I said, while I don't know the particulars and the context of the entire situation, all I know is that someone was killed. Being shot in the face is pretty brutal. So I'm not going to label it, but I'm going to say someone was killed in a brutal manner. And people are okay with it. A large number of people are okay with it. That is disheartening. Truly disheartening. But as high as the tensions are getting, we really need to start finding a way to calm ourselves. Because if the situation I was almost involved in was to escalate, then it would have been another news report of potential gun violence. Because while I said I have to walk everywhere, my truck is being looked over and I don't have the money for a rental car because all the money I got from my GoFundMe ended up having to go to my bills. Otherwise, I would be homeless now. They would be essentially going through the channels to file an eviction on me, and I would be homeless. I truly would be homeless. I would be homeless right now. I didn't intend for it to be that way, but trying to survive in a world of increasing costs and lowering wages, it's a little bit tough. So I have to walk everywhere. And so I walk over to the grocery store to get some groceries, which is a gallon of milk and a couple bags of carrots for Sirius. I put it in my backpack. And the reason I put it in my backpack is because I was live the last time I was over there when I got milk at the grocery store, and the guy took my milk and left it unattended outside and essentially treated me like the milk was the worst policy violation that he could have ever had. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to alleviate all that. I know for a fact I can wear a backpack in there because I've actually carried my backpack into the place because it having my laptop in it from being in class. So I know for a fact they shouldn't say anything about my backpack. Nope. I get my groceries, go over to Bloom. The moment I walk through the door and go through the little thing, the security guard with an asshole, like literally, walks over like he's told me this a million times, pulls up the little tension barrier, and like, nope, drop the bag over there. I'm like, show me where it says in a policy that you take my bag from me. He instantly, right off the cliff. Right off the cliff. Nope, get out. Get out. I'm not doing this with you today. Get out. Starts talking to me like I'm a criminal, like he always and every day has problems with me. And it's at this point in time, he doesn't turn his body cam on. He hadn't turned it on yet. He hadn't turned it on at all yet. And he was wearing one. So no, he starts going off the cliff, acting like he's dealt with me so much in the past and I'm just some some asshole that comes in there ready to cause problems every time, when all I do is I don't talk to anyone. I go in there, get my stuff, and I leave. I stand silently, try not to say anything to anyone, because I don't like talking to anyone in public for that very reason. You can't talk to people in public anymore. So the guy gets all belligerent with me, starts telling me, if you don't leave, I'm gonna remove you. He starts talking very, very threatening, as if he's going to be physical with me. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go outside, but you're gonna call your fucking store manager. And he's like, nope, you will. I'm like, no, motherfucker, you will. I'm like, listen here, fat boy, you're gonna fucking call the store fucking manager over here right now? Because I'm not going fucking anywhere. At this time, that's when I start going up. Because he knows he's in the wrong. He knows that if the store manager was to be called over, he would probably be closer to losing his job than being in the right. And I reiterated that to him multiple times. I was like, listen here, fat boy. Because he's a fat guy. He's fat. He don't have a chest. He's got the bird sunk in, the pressed in tits and the poked out belly. He's a fat boy. He knows he's a fat boy. He's not a fat boy because he carries a gun on his hip. That's why he thinks he's not a fat boy. That's why he thinks he's not fat. Because he carries a gun on his hip. When no, he's a fat boy. He's a fat Karen. A racist Karen, huh? I'm getting to that piece. A racist Karen. And black people, you think you can't be racist? Be like this guy and you'll be racist. You are racist if you act like him. I promise you that. You are racist if you act like him. So as I'm telling him, very aggressively, might I add, because why not? You're being way over aggressive with me for no reason. Just because I won't surrender my property to you when you haven't even, you could ask to inspect what's in my bag. I wouldn't have even minded that. Hey, can I see inside your bag? Make sure you ain't got no weapons. Sure. Oh, look, there's milk and carrots. But he didn't do that. No. Off the deep end, talking violent, acting like he was acting like he really wanted to get physical with me. To me, that's somebody that shouldn't be allowed to carry a weapon. And as a matter of fact, he should be under a mental evaluation. Going off the deep end in that manner, because I wouldn't surrender my backpack to you when I have nothing for you, no reason for you to make me surrender my backpack, because there's no policy that tells anybody coming into that place that they have to surrender their backpack. As a matter of fact, it says no guns and no knives, and neither of which were in my bag. And you could have asked to see inside my bag, and you would have known that. But no, you didn't. And now we're getting to the racist bit, where this guy is racist. And if you're going to be this way to someone that is not in your race, then you will instantly mark yourself as racist. You are racist if you instantly start saying, you're a racist. You're a racist. If you just out of nowhere, with no justification or evidence, start slandering someone with racist, I mean, calling them racist, I wouldn't care if they knocked your teeth out of your head. I really wouldn't. And I would say, you know what? Perfectly justified. Because that's exactly what happened. As I'm saying, you call your fucking manager over here, the store manager over here right now, he's trying to forcefully push me off the curb and into the parking lot to get me as far away from the doorway as possible, because I'm going to get an employee out here who actually has power, because I kept telling him over and over and over again, you do not have power, fat boy. You have some security protect this premises power. You don't have no forcefully removing somebody that you don't like power. That's not how any of this works. You don't get to choose you don't like a person, cause a problem, and then try to forcefully remove them because they're not going to bow down and kiss your dirty ass toes. Sorry, it don't work that way. So the guy instantly starts yelling, "You're racist. Yeah, I know your kind of people. You're racist. Racist ass white man." You do that, you are racist. No ifs, ands, buts about arguments. You could argue all up and down. You can't be racist to white people. You can't be racist to white people. Yes, you absolutely fucking can. And that guy is fucking racist. And if he didn't lose his job, I will sue Bloom and I will sue his company. Because they actively know a person who is racist works for them. And they're allowing him to continue to work for him. Because I said nothing again about anybody's race. I didn't say anything. And then he tried to say the reason I didn't want him to touch my milk the first day was because he was black. No, bitch, I didn't want you to fucking do what you did with my fucking milk. And that was take my milk from me and be a dick face and set it outside on the bench unattended and walked away. And you know what? As I walked out, there's a guy standing in front of it. I'm not saying the guy was stealing it, but that would have been the easiest way for somebody to just have a free fucking gallon of milk. Why would anybody steal a gallon of milk, really? Why wouldn't you? Why the fuck wouldn't you steal a fucking gallon of milk? A seemingly free fucking gallon of milk that somebody left sitting there. You think some Bloom security guard's gonna stop somebody from walking the fuck out with a gallon of milk that they're not attending to? That they made it a point to say it was against policy to carry into there? Even though I wasn't sitting there fucking chugging it? That was his justification on calling me racist. Because he said I didn't want a black man touching my milk. Then why the fuck am I carrying it in a backpack this time? Do I not want a black man to touch my backpack too? No, I tried to fucking cancel out the eyes of knowing my fucking groceries are in my backpack because somebody's got something against people carrying groceries into a place, seeing as they fucking walk everywhere. So, again, as we're going through it, dude starts yelling, "You're racist, you racist white man, just like every other racist white man." Yelling, being as loud and as obnoxious as he can fucking be, trying to cause a scene with somebody. And what I really think the dude wanted to do, I really, because he kept saying, "Call me boy again, call me boy again," because he was using that as the justification of calling me racist. As if I was saying it like some plantation owner, "You're going to get over here, boy." No, I was calling him fat boy. Like, you're a fat child. You're fat with the mentality of a child. That's what I was calling you. A fat, retarded child. A grown-ass, fat, retarded child. So yeah. That's his justification for calling me racist. And like I said, what I think he was trying to do was trying to get it to go physical. So he had a justification for pulling out his gun and shooting a racist, killing a fascist. I really think that's what he was trying to get me to do. Trying to get me to blow up and him have the justification to pull his gun out and shoot me. I really think it is. So Bloom, I'm telling you, get rid of that fucking guy. Get rid of that guy. Get rid of that security company, because they're going to cause you way more problems that you're going to be able to deal with. Because that dude and that people like that dude are going to fucking kill somebody unjustly, and it's going to be on y'all's hands. Y'all could have done something about it. I'm the test for it. That right there tells you that that security company and these self-righteous chest beaters, they don't belong in a place like that. If you want your place secured, then start paying CPD, send a special duty police officer over there. Because a police officer isn't going to care about somebody carrying their groceries into a fucking establishment. These chest-beating top-flight security motherfuckers will. So again, you're going to cause way more problems for yourself if you keep that security company around than to just go ahead and pay the money for Columbus Police or Grove City or whoever the fuck ever to station a cop there. Because that dude is a fucking racist dickhead who doesn't belong in the working public. And like I said, prove me fucking wrong. Prove me fucking wrong. He wasn't itching to pull his gun and shoot somebody. More specifically, me today. Prove me wrong. Because that's what the situation was. 100% avoidable. So, Bloom, it will behoove you to get rid of that company. Get rid of that company and pay CPD to station a fucking special duty officer over there. Every day. Too bad, so sad. You guys want to run that business? You don't get to have idiots who aren't actually trained in police tactics. He's trained by some podunk ass fucking security team of wannabe soldiers. Not a real security agency, not somebody that's fucking actually been trained in tactics, special response tactics, not trained in any type of law enforcement tactics. No, these are fucking people that sit on PlayStation 5 all fucking day and then get ready to go clock into work and carry a gun. You're putting retarded fucking people behind a gun. So it'll behoove you to get fucking rid of that company. You will end up with a lawsuit. Because if I go over there again and that fucking guy harasses me again, I will right then and there call a lawyer and file a fucking lawsuit against Bloom and against that security company, and then I'll turn around and file a civil lawsuit against that guy. I might be fucking poor, but that will be fucking headline goddamn news. So that will pay for it. My ad revenue will fucking pay for it. So get rid of that fucking company. So that's why I didn't want to actually go live today. This shit has just gone fucking off the rails insane. And I wanted to kind of recompartmentalize. But I'm watching Valhalla VFT. And people were just like, I wasn't watching him live. I was watching his video. And it's just like people were just okay with death and murder and mayhem now. Like we have truly, I'm not a religious person, but we fucking lost our way. We've lost our way. I'm the least religious person. I know. But I can see that humanity has lost its fucking way. It's lost its way, its direction. We're lost. Saying that we're cooked means that it's over. Like there's nothing more for us to be done. But there truly is. And we know what we need to do. It's insane. It's insane what the world has become right now. What it's becoming. We're okay with genocides. We're okay with seemingly innocent people being murdered or shot in the face. We're allowing people who can't keep their emotions and check and compartmentalize things. We're creating any justification we can to do wrong by each other. We have truly lost our friggin' way. But one of the other things I actually wanted to talk about was more along the lines of video game world, because that's my way of decompressing all the darkness from the world. Because I can only take in so much into my mind before my brain overloads, and I just start wanting to crash out. Not actually crashing out, but just like, why shouldn't I? That becomes a question in my mind. Why shouldn't I crash out? Why not? Because it would be easy. It would be super, super easy. It would be very, very easy to crash out and not even look back. But it does kind of fall in line with something I thought of a while ago. The easiest thing in the world to do is almost anything you want to do, at least until somebody stops you. The hardest thing in the world is not doing everything you want to do. Having restraint. Having the ability to say, okay, I don't need to act rashly right now. And people can say, well, it's hard to do that. You can't really say that. And when you have things like vehicles and guns, but all in all, the situation is easily avoidable from the beginning. Whether the lady was a protester, agitator, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. The force didn't justify. It really didn't. Oh, there's a vehicle and if you think these guys, and this goes to the people that are military, armed forces, stop playing coy. Like, you guys have great reflexes. You have amazing resilience in taking bumps and getting back up. Like, you guys know how resilient you are. Let's not play coy anymore. Let's not act like, oh man, she ran over my foot. Oh, your medical bills now. I guarantee you, his life is fine. He's fine. You took a bump. You took a bump. Or she's using her car as a ram. Kind of, to me, without all the context of what we're supposed to be seeing and analyzing, I'm in agreement with Valhalla. Dude took a bump. She panicked and tried to get out of the way because a bunch of dudes just rushed her vehicle trying to rip her out of it. She's a civilian. She doesn't know how any of that works. And maybe that's kind of the problem that you guys are having with this whole ICE raid thing. Maybe instead of conducting yourselves like a law enforcement agency, you're acting like a militant agency, like an agency who needs to be running around guns blazing. Like, yeah, we gave you a mandate to get the illegal immigrants and criminals out of the country, the illegal immigrant criminals out of the country, but we didn't say run around the streets like you're martial lawing all the neighborhoods. You think SWAT needs to roll around a neighborhood looking for the bad guy. No, SWAT is called to a location to do a raid. Like, all right, we're mobilizing to this location to do a raid. So I know you guys are mobilizing somewhere. You're going to a place, you're mobilizing somewhere. Maybe put out a law that, or maybe just put it out there that there's peaceful protesting and then there's obstruction of justice. And you label what obstruction of justice is. Blocking vehicles, hiding criminals. And even if they aren't, and this goes to the other side, the side's like, well, I don't want ICE just kidnapping people. Is it you? Are you an illegal immigrant? Then stop worrying about it. Mind your own business. If these people want to do things the right way, then they'll allow themselves to be taken. They know that they don't belong here. They know they entered here illegally. And a lot of which are criminals, actually violent criminals. They know that. But what they're banking on is someone who doesn't know that. Because they'll feed you the story. I'm just here for my family. They feed it every time. And they're not. You guys want to take care of homeless veterans, the homeless population. You want cost of living to come down. You want things to be less intrusive into our lives. Then you have to get this country back in order. Like, this country has to get back in order to provide all that. We can't fix our problems if our country's not back in order. And we can't get our country in order if our law enforcement agencies are constantly having to deal with trying to identify people that have no identification or who are on stolen identities. Because that's a lot of why these Democrat policies, these liberal policies, are so lenient on these criminals. Is because it takes them so long to figure out who's who, because a lot of these people have stolen identities. They're running around with identities that aren't even theirs. And that's not to say right-wing policy is any better. Really, it's not. It's just a different extreme, a different idiot extreme. They're both up here. They're both rich people. They're both people that will look at you as if you aren't worth anything unless you're part of their groups. You aren't part of their groups. They are not for you. And yes, vote where your heart goes. Don't let your ass follow, because they will set it on fire. They will set it on fire and turn you into a patsy. So again, stop believing that these people are for us. They are not. We know they're not. We prove it day in and day out that they are not. So like I said, I wanted to talk about Star Citizen for the simple fact that it makes me laugh. It cracks me up. It makes me laugh when people instantly go into the, I don't really know what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to converse about your argument. I'm just gonna attack your credibility. Because one of the comments I got on one of my Star Citizen videos yesterday, it was the $1 billion and no plans for release. Had a few people, had a bunch of dislikes, without anybody saying why they dislike. And that's what's crazy. That's why I don't understand the dislike button. Like, if you're gonna be lazy and hit the dislike button, at least say what you didn't dislike, what you didn't like. Like, I dislike that because ABC, whatever. Just give something. Stop with the bad reviews, really. And they're not bad reviews because they're justifiably bad. They're bad because you all don't know how to use them. It's like people see the thumbs up and the thumbs down, and it's just like, okay, I put the one that I know better. I saw somebody disagreed with them in the comment, so I'm going to hit the dislike button too. Like, you guys aren't seemingly like bringing anything to the table. So dislikes, I look at maybe 1% of the dislikes are valid. Valid people who just overall dislike and don't really want to go into why they dislike it, because it's a shorter list just to dislike it than it is to go in what they dislike. No, I understand that. I understand there are people like that. So that's why I usually account for like maybe 1% of the dislikes. 1% of dislikes and are those people. Those people are truly lazy people that don't really want to go into why they dislike something. They just dislike, move on. But then you do have the people that are like, tell me you haven't played Star Citizen more than 5 minutes without telling me. Like, tell me you don't know what you're talking about without actually saying anything useful. Oh yeah, easy. You did that because literally made no sense to what I was saying in the video. Because the video is an excerpt from the ultimate argument, and the ultimate argument is that they've taken in $1 billion. And then instead of just solely working on that, they decided to split focus and start working on a single player game at the same exact time. It's actually progressing faster than the persistent universe and will actually release. So instead of going after the argument, they go after, I guess, my credibility. Which is funny because I wasn't actually playing Star Citizen when I was talking about it. So they don't know what they're talking about, actually. They don't know I have hundreds of hours into that game. Probably, if not 1,000+ hours in that game. My frustration spans years in that game. And another one of the comments was, they released Star Citizen and then made Squadron 42. Now they're working on 2 games at once. Look at GTA 5. If you really think GTA 6 is a good, I don't know, example, no, it's not. That is an awful example. Because GTA 6 isn't stuck in alpha, still crowdfunding a decade later. GTA 6 has delayed their full release date multiple times for overall polishing of the game and making sure that when they release to PlayStation as their focus, it goes off without a hitch. So that's an awful example. If you're going to use something like that, find a better game. I don't know of anyone that can really directly compare to the mess that Star Citizen is. So that is an awful example. And the fact that they split focus from the persistent universe into Squadron 42 and decided that was the best course of action for that game shows you how chaotic that company is and how terribly managed they are. So if you're going to come at me, bro. Like, really come at me, bro. Because again, I have hundreds of hours in this game. Hundreds of. I've spent actual money on it. Because of what? That hope thing. That hope thing. That thing that poor people hold so high and dear. Hope. Patch note. I did not know they were setting an update today. 5. Hopefully it returned some of the lost stuff. Did they do a wipe? Um, 4.5 has been live. And that's not even, current patch notes aren't even up. These are technically the previous patch notes. Not even the current patch notes. And that's not a 2.0 update. It's all old stuff. Yeah, these are the patch notes. They wiped everybody. Yeah, this isn't new stuff. This is all old. This is what happened like last week or 17th. Again, like I said, I've been playing this game for almost its entire existence. I've taken sporadic time off. Like the most time I've taken off is like a year and a half or so. But I always log back in at least 1 or 2 times to see what's done, see what's changed, what's new. I've seen the changes. I've seen them come. But again, they've taken in more than $1 billion and they're working on Squadron 42 as their primary. So I got to use the restroom. I'll be back and I'll show you how long I've actually been playing this game. I'm probably gonna toast me up some bread though. My internet's probably tanking right now, so I'm gonna toast some bread up while this does its thing. I'll be back. A little bit better. Something in my belly. Actually wanted to do one thing. (2018) December 2018. Oh, I forgot I was part of this organization. Yeah. December 13th, 2018. And it actually was not the first time this is actually my second account. The first account, there was a problem with the refund process. So I had them refund the ship, and I created another account sometime later. I think I met Bogalicious, and he explained how how it all worked. Like, oh, okay, so not all of their ships are flight ready. That's when I went and got a ship that was actually flight ready, which was a mining ship. First ship ever was a mining ship. But that's ultimately how long I've been playing this game. I've been playing this game for many, many years, closer to a decade. So don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't have any grounds to stand on when it comes to this game. I've been playing this game for years. And for me to expect it to be a lot further along than it is, it's perfectly justified. So no one has the right to be mad that I dislike the current path that they're on, and more specifically, the speed in which they're taking this path. So, yeah, I'm perfectly justified in my ranting at the game. I've put hundreds of hours into it. It's like telling me I don't have any ground to stand on in any of these games. Literally be like telling me I don't have a right to say anything about any of these games. And to tell me I don't have the right to say anything about any video game would be asinine. Seeing I have hours played in almost every one of these games. Some of them I downloaded before and during COVID. When I had money to buy games. The hell is that? I've never even seen this game. I don't even know where it came from. Oh, it's a VR game. Oh, this is this was on sale. This is a an MMO. They went free to play. Oh my god, no. I just have to hook up, re-hook up my VR stuff. Why are we downloading 70-something gigs of that game? I don't like when game companies do that. Don't reinstall the game completely just to patch it. If you need to reinstall the game completely to patch it, then you're probably doing something wrong, man. And it's always these Chinese companies that do this. Make me reinstall the entire game just to patch a small portion of it. I'll do that shit while I'm asleep. Doing that now. I don't have any money to buy games, but I look at them. I would like to own that. Just add it to my wish list. Bongo Cat. What?
Come on, multiplayer update. Play with 100 friends. Bongo Cat, free on Steam.
This is just something that sits in the background. A little cat that just bangs on your... Oh. That's why it's free to play. Good. Spend the money on microtransaction. NBA 2K26 Season 3. Okay. I don't really have any good showcases. I figured that was gonna win. Never heard of that. That looks cool. The VR game?
Dreadful was the day when the sun vanished. The waters dried up, birds went quiet, and the dark itself seeped unchecked into the work table. The night that followed would be long. As long as the midnight walk.
How could this happen?
Handcrafted from clay.
Flame warms the righteous, but the wicked.
Looks
the
cool.
Flame burns with a passion.
What is the dark? Is it ugly and cruel? Is it a place for fools lost in the woods?
This little flame, keep them
sheltered and safe through the rain, in the dark, and over Moon Mountain.
So awesome looking game, not even gonna lie. I need to get my VR hooked back up.
The dark itself is the key. All it needs is a little spark, and I get what I need.
The sun away.
It actually looks really good. I like that. Bad thing is, I can't use my VR. I can't really hook my VR back up because I don't have my wireless mic. I get my wireless mic, then yeah, I will hook my VR back up. But a lot of extenuating circumstances have to happen before that happens. But that's a really good game. Really cool looking game. I like that. I'll add that to my wish list. Of course, Baldur's Gate. Labor of Love, baby. That's Baldur's Gate is an awesome game. Heard that was really good. Never actually looked at it. It's like a... Yeah, it's like a Path of Exile style. Top down.
Well, daughter of Hades,
Roguelike.
princess
Hack and
of
slash,
the
yeah.
underworld. It would seem that you are finally prepared. But time itself is against us. And war has come to Mount Olympus. Shall you rush now to your family's defense? Or shall you strike our enemy in the heart of the underworld?
Looks really good. Or at least this does.
You know me, Headmistress. I'll do both. It's now or never.
I really like the art.
The witch is often underestimated. But I'm well
I'll have to add it to the
aware
wish list.
who you are.
I have
Whenever I
to be
can get
more
a
than that.
buy a video game again.
This family.
I
They deserve
definitely
their
would like a
vengeance.
story-rich game.
I cannot stop
Something that
crimson
keeps me
light.
engaged for a
These
while.
repelled me.
We got your back, sister, so just keep moving forward. Care for a little wager here? Bet I'll take more of them than you. Let's see how strong you really are.
Time would
I think it's a little more
wear us down, but
controlled than
with
Path of
patience,
Exile.
we can withstand him until our night arrives.
This is it.
Go kill time.
Death to Kronos.
Death to Kronos.
It makes me want to play the first one. It looks like a really good game. It showed the gameplay and it's really good. It looks good.
In the name of Hades. All right, it's time.
Mortal Witch.
No! Back again.
Looks fun. And up to the heavens. Yeah.
Let us strike.
Heed now my will.
Are you prepared for another hard lesson?
and clears the mind like a refreshing soak. Care to accompany me?
Good letting off some steam sometimes.
You'll
Yeah,
flourish.
crafting.
Shades, you're free. See you in the crossroads.
So what's up?
I call upon the moon and draw you down.
I vow to shine for you.
Don't be afraid. Death. Don't forget all that the Titan took from you.
The family has your back, surprised as they are about this.
Some more knickknacks coming right up.
Which way?
The stuff of nightmares.
I can do this.
I would like to see you try.
Death to Kronos.
Looks good. Yep, definitely add it to my wish list. Actually. I'll go another time. I've seen people play that. Looks fun, but don't have enough friends anymore. Oh, the Arc Raiders won an award. Who must be mad? I knew Where Winds Meet wasn't gonna win this. Where Winds Meet is too easy for the pattern recognition in it. That game's probably, I've heard that game's a lot harder in pattern recognition. Yeah, that would be right. I want that game, but can't afford it. Chose a few of those games. Yeah. Surprise Battlefield 6 hasn't gone free to play on its multiplayer. But they'll start losing enough player base to other games that it's going to be inevitable for them. They just don't have a good enough cap on the shooter market. Yeah, it's already 30% off for the digital edition. That's old school. Holy shit. You know it? Bread loaf I made earlier. Hmm. He's already told us what his plans are. His plans are to run Venezuela until they can get a new government in there. Pleads not guilty to outburst. Can we see it? I want to see some shit. I want to see Maduro on TV pleading why he deserves to be running that country. Yeah, I don't want to discount the Minnesota shooting thing, but I feel like the Minnesota shooting thing being used as a distraction. While it's terrible that it happened, what the hell's going on behind the scenes? What's happening in the background? While everybody's out here protesting things and fighting each other, there's a bunch of shit happening in behind the scenes that we need to be seen on.
Quite a bit of decorating since I've been here last.
Well, I have.
Great to see you, sir.
I didn't know it was a full hour. I thought it was going to be maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But you do that to me every once in a while.
I think I was pretty clear, but thank you for your time.
All right, speed it the hell up.
There's really not much in the news, so there's not a real lot to talk about, but let's start with Venezuela. Narco-terrorist, indicted, guy that we're losing 200 Americans a day to drugs. Yeah. Walk us through this decision in Venezuela.
Well, it wasn't a hard decision. Democrats wanted him and Republicans wanted him, and nobody had what it takes to get him or didn't want to get him. I don't know, something happened, but he killed a lot of people. He sent a lot of bad people into our country. He emptied his prisons into the United States. He emptied his mental institutions and insane asylums into the United States, and did a lot of very bad things, but he was a big drug pusher. You see that because all the boats that we shot down, they came out of Venezuela. A lot of drugs. There's a lot of boats, and a lot of drugs. There's very few boats operating right now. There's almost no boats. You can't find any boats.
But wasn't China supposed to be also a big pusher of fentanyl to the United States? Come on, dude.
Not a lot of people want to go fishing anymore, but we've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by water, and we are going to start now hitting land with regard to the cartels. The cartels are running Mexico. It's very, very sad to watch and see what's happened to that country, but the cartels are running, and they're killing 250, 300,000 people in our country every single year. The drugs, it's horrible. It's devastated families. You lose a child or a parent. I mean, parents are dying too with drugs. So we've done a really good job. We're knocking it down. The numbers are really getting to be, they're always going to be too high if you have one person, but they're going down just like the border. The border was a total mess for years. I did it the first time very quickly, and this time I did it even better because this was a bigger mess. This was a border like no other probably in the history of the world. There's never been a border like that when anybody could just walk into your country.
The border's ostensibly really closed now.
Closed. They can't come in, and nobody comes, nobody even tries. And the people in Texas, Arizona, all these places that are won by such big numbers, they are so happy with the border. They had homes that they weren't even able to live in their home. Every day people were knocking on their door every hour. And it's just a great honor to be involved with it. The ICE and Border Patrol and all of the people have been so good. Tom Holman, Christy Nome. The people have done such an incredible job. You have no idea.
You made a number of profound announcements, and then a new announcement today. Announcement number one was 30 to 50 million barrels of oil that they will be handing over to you, and you will sell it on the market at market prices. Yeah. That money will be used for the people of Venezuela and the people of America.
Correct.
Then you made an announcement yesterday that they will buy all of their goods from this country. Today, we learned that the holdovers, since Maduro's gone, have agreed to free all of the political prisoners.
Right.
It indicates they want peace with Donald Trump to me. How do you interpret it?
We asked them to do that, and they've been great. They really have been. I mean, everything we've wanted, they've given us. We went in, we took Maduro out. Amazingly, that nobody was killed. We didn't lose a soldier. We had some people wounded, but we didn't lose a soldier. A couple of very brave helicopter pilots were wounded pretty badly.
Well, this is right wing. This is the right wing side. It's gonna be the fluffy side.
I was in the middle of a fort with thousands of people and soldiers and everything else, and we went right into the middle of a fort. Who would think you could do that and not lose anybody? But they had it planned so beautifully. General Raisin Kane and Pete Hegseth were fantastic. Marco's been doing a great job. The vice president, the whole group it's just a fantastic group.
Let's talk a little bit about. You make these decisions. I don't care if it's this case, Operation Midnight Hammer. In the one case, you're here in the White House in the Situation Room. You're watching this unfold in real time. In this case, you have operationally the same thing, a Situation Room down in Palm Beach at Mar-a-Lago. You make that ultimate call. You are the commander-in-chief.
Right.
You're watching it unfold in real time. What is that like?
Well, I've done it quite a bit. We took out Soleimani, which was a big deal. I mean, a very big deal. Middle East. It was very bad to people. Killed a lot of people. Everybody you see, just about 95% of the people you see walking around without legs or without arms, that was the roadside bomb. That was his baby. He loved it. We took him out. We took out al-Baghdadi. He's the founder of ISIS. We did Midnight Hammer, which was obliterate the Iran nuclear threat. And it was a total obliteration, as they found out. The B-2 bombers and the best pilots anywhere in the world. They did it at night with no moon, totally dark, and every bomb went right down an air shaft deep into a granite mountain. It was amazing. And we did this, and there's similar in a way. I don't know. This seems to have gotten the imagination, maybe even more than the other ones, but I think they're very equal in many ways. But I don't know, maybe taking out the nuclear threat from Iran is very important. But in terms of captivating attention, this seems to be something that is beyond anything that anybody sees.
Especially the operational details.
Well, the bravery involved. I mean, to have people going into an army fort with thousands of soldiers land a helicopter right in the middle of it, break down a steel door, because it was a fortified house, break down a steel door, run through the hallway shooting, and come out 10 minutes later with the guy who wasn't quite able to get into his safe house. There's a safe.
I heard they got to him within 3 minutes. Less than 3 minutes.
It was so fast. I mean, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And but the safe house wasn't safe because they had blowtorches that go through steel like it's butter. They didn't have to use them. But we have these are great people. These are really brave people. Even coming down those ropes, they're coming down ropes off the helicopter, and they run them. I was thinking to myself, I wonder if I could do that. I'm gonna have to give it a try sometime. But they do it like it's a stairway, like it's a beautiful stairway, and they're on the ground instantly, and they're ready for action. These are brave people. We're the greatest soldiers in the world. We're the greatest equipment in the world. Nobody can match us. I rebuilt the entire military during my first term.
Good thing.
So what was that? Just showing off how good we are? Showing off that we could touch anybody anywhere, regardless of who you are? Don't make us mad? Sounds like a lot of chest beating to me. Not what I signed up for.
But not a lot relative to what I bought. But he gave a big chunk to Afghanistan.
I would have went back into the army if I wanted to do that shit again.
This was a total, if you think about Jimmy Carter with the hostages, or you think about the Afghanistan disaster that we had not so long ago with Biden, where it was just mass confusion and the death of 13 great soldiers who I got to know the families very well. Great people, but also, and nobody talks about them, 48 people so badly injured, and hundreds of people dead. Hundreds of people. When those bombs were off, because I count the other side, but there were hundreds of people killed, all because of an incompetent group of politicians and generals and people that shouldn't be there.
Let's talk a little bit, maybe an underreported story, but we know for a fact that both the Russians and the Chinese provided missile and ballistic missile systems. They did it to both. They helped Iran and they helped Venezuela.
He has a really hard time keeping his right eye open. His left eye seems to be like he has a lot of control over it, over the lid, the eye itself. But his right eye, it's a lot puffier, and it's almost sealed shut. His eye, like this, does not put him in a good light. You can already tell he has a hard time keep opening his eyes in the lights that they're using here. But like this shot switches and comes back. Yeah, he has something going on with his right eye.
That one, that's unloading the oil. But we're taking billions and billions of dollars worth of oil, and it'll be hundreds of billions of dollars. It'll be trillions of dollars. But we're going to be there till we straighten out the country. We'll see how the country's doing. But we'll be running the oil. We're meeting tomorrow with all of the big oil executives. We'll be right here in the White House. We're going to meet with the biggest oil people in the world. They're all coming here. The top 14 companies are coming here. They're going to go in. They're going to rebuild the whole oil infrastructure. They're going to spend at least $100 billion, and it's an unbelievable oil that they have, and an unbelievable quality of oil and amount of oil.
When they nationalized the oil industry in Venezuela, going back to the 1920s, American companies had invested billions.
We built it,
all of it,
and then it was taken away from us.
Stolen.
It was stolen from us, and it was taken away, years ago over a period of time. But it was taken away in the early 2000s, even beyond that. But the early 2000s, and I just took it back.
I can't imagine them being able to. They have the largest oil reserves.
It's not that cut and dry.
American investment, ingenuity.
I don't care what he says. It's not that cut and dry. What do you mean it was taken? How did... You said yourself we have the most powerful military, most powerful everything in the world. How was that taken from us? Explain that. How was that taken?
What does that mean in terms of America's new partnership with...
Actually, you know what? We'll ask this. How was the oil in Venezuela taken from the U.S.? No, I don't give a damn what the U.S. is set to receive. I don't care what the U.S. is set to receive. I'm wondering about the historical event that happened where oil was taken from the U.S. nationalization of Venezuelan oil industry, which happened in two major waves and resulted in the seizure of billions of dollars of American assets. The two most significant events, 2007 seizures, the Chavez seizures. Under President Hugo Chavez, Venezuela forced foreign oil companies to hand over majority control at 60% of their operations to the state-run company, PDVSA. Companies affected, while some companies like Chevron accepted a deal to stay as minority partners, ExxonMobil and ConocoPhillips refused and were forced out with their assets seized by the government. Financial impact. These companies sued for unlawful confiscation. International courts eventually ordered Venezuela to pay over $10 billion to ConocoPhillips and roughly $1.6 billion to ExxonMobil. So they got paid for what was seized. So it's not, at that rate, it's just bought. It was like, I'm going to hold this stuff ransom until you pay me. Join me or pay me. And they were like, nah, we'll sue you instead. And Venezuela's like, okay, we'll pay you instead. This is the most current. This would be the most current thing. Most of these billions were made unpaid, which is why recent U.S. rhetoric often describes the oil as having been stolen. But then again, the thing of it is like the United States, does the United States government own that oil? Or did they own that oil? Did they own any of that? No. So to claim it was stolen from the United States is 100% inaccurate. It was stolen from Chevron, Exxon, and Conoco. It wasn't stolen from the United States of American government. So, completely inaccurate statement. He's more or less saying it as a personal thing. My friends are owners of these companies, and Venezuela stole their oil, so therefore they're stealing from me, and I represent the United States of America, so they're stealing from the U.S. That's not how that works. He's stealing from corporate interests, and at that rate, so friggin' be it. It sucks that a terrible person was the one doing the stealing. And terrible people were the ones continuing to be able to do the stealing. But then again, maybe they were good people before they started doing the stealing, and the stealing was their break bad. Who knows? You can't really gauge how history's motives work anymore. People, we've obviously been lied about tons and tons of history. 76. January 1st, 76, President Carlos Andrés Perez nationalized the entire sector, creating that, he created that organization to manage it. U.S. involvement at the time, American companies like ExxonMobil and Gulf Oil had invested $5 billion into the country. Unlike 2007 event, this was relatively orderly. The Venezuelan government paid approximately $1 billion in compensation to the affected U.S. firms. So basically, they're just indebted. Just send debt collectors after them. Why aren't they being called constantly by debt collectors? And we are. We only owe like $13.75, and you hound us like we owe $5 billion. Get the hell out of here. That's insane. You out here not, that's why we went and we stole their president. They stole our oil, we'll steal your president. This is all a joke, man. Oh, a damn joke. That's crazy. So they didn't technically steal it. They just steal it from the U.S. They stole it from these companies, and these companies are friends with him and all these people, so therefore they stole from America.
With Venezuela.
Because in their mind, they're the number one representation of the United States of America, not us, the millions and millions of people in the country. These people. Guy can't keep his eyes open.
Over the world, which is great for everybody. It means lower oil prices for America, which I have it down. Don't forget, I inherited a mess.
Telling you, he's got a health problem. Something going on with him, health-wise.
In history, the highest and worst inflation in history. Prices were through the roof, and I'm fixing it. I inherited a mess. I say it all the time. I inherited because people don't understand. I inherited a mess. Open borders, millions of people in this country that shouldn't be. We're moving them out. We're moving them out pretty rapidly to murderers and drug dealers and just some of the worst people in the world came in, not only from Venezuela, from all over the Congo. The Congo sent us tremendous numbers of people. I don't know what it is with the Congo. They open their jails and they walk into our country. They drive them up to our front entrance. They get out and they walk right into our country. And these are tough, hardened criminals. These are real criminals, and from many countries. I mean, they came from Africa, they came from the Middle East, they came from South America, but a lot came from Venezuela. He opened his prisons and sent all of the people from his prisons into the United States. Why not? I do the same thing about it. You take the people, they're nothing but trouble for you, and they're killers, and they're the worst people that you can imagine. I mean, some of the crimes are so bad you wouldn't believe it.
They're not that strong. If they were, the people would be able to stand up against the government.
It's a very safe city now, and before when I took over, it was really a danger. It got really bad.
Same with the American population. As millions of us there are, we can't come together to realize that these people are against us.
Doesn't happen anymore. We have a very safe. Washington D.C. is a very safe city. We put our National Guard there. They're all central casting. You take a look at these guys.
We have to sit and argue about
from the Supreme Court, a great victory, a courageous victory actually. But this country is now based on merit again.
if she was trying to hit him or not.
I've had her on TV this week.
Yeah, she's a very nice person.
Okay, she won the Nobel Peace Prize. When she accepted that Peace Prize, she dedicated it to you. She said to me this week, both on TV and radio, that she wants to give the Nobel Prize, her Nobel Peace Prize, to you for liberating her country. In 2023, she won over 92% of the vote to be the leader of the opposition. Maduro kept her off the ballot. Do you have any plans to meet with her? And would you accept the Nobel Prize she wants to hand to you?
He's not going to push for her.
And I look forward to saying hello to her. I've heard that.
He's already said that the people won't back her. And the country's already said it themselves. They won't back her. She doesn't have the support.
That she wants to do that. That would be a great honor. I did put out 8 wars. 8 and a quarter, because Thailand and Cambodia started going at it again.
I'll put the list
I
up
give
if
a
you
quarter,
want.
so you put the list out as a hell of a list. But I've stopped 8 wars, and I think it's been a major embarrassment to Norway. Now I don't know what Norway has to do with it, but that's where the committee is located. A lot of Norwegian people, and it's been a very big embarrassment to the country of Norway. Whether they have anything to do with it or not, I think they do. They say they don't. But when you put out 8 wars, in theory, you should get 1 for each war. Okay, because some of these wars were going.
What are you doing, psychopath? I heard you acting like a crazy.
I got that one stopped. 8 planes we shot down. They were really at it, and I got it stopped. It was a big one. You look at the Congo, Rwanda, and the Congo. They've been fighting for 30 years.
Oh, man.
Not because of a Nobel Prize, but because I saved millions and millions of lives, and that's what really makes me feel good.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch
I'll
the
hush.
most compelling analysis you will not.
Oops. News. Don't be eating the stuff off my shoes, man. Not healthy. Yeah, it was totally avoidable. Anybody that thinks otherwise is ignorant. They need better training for... Well, it's not really better training, because the training is phenomenal training. That's why we have the best soldiers in the world. It's a better filter process so that people who aren't easily activated and triggered aren't the ones toting the guns. Dude, don't be chewing on that, man. Covering the camera so you really see. That cracks me up. Yeah, he's in a zoomy mode right now. Yeah. Good. Yeah, he seems like he wants to play right now. Yep. I love you, buddy. Love you. Yeah. Yeah, he's in zoomy mode right now. He's just all over the place, zooming. Binking and zooming.
Mass protests in Iran now entering a 6th day in a row. Thousands are taking to the streets over a spiraling economic crisis there. President Trump, meantime, posting a stark warning to Iran's leadership early this morning, saying if the regime kills peaceful protesters, the U.S. would intervene and that American forces are locked and loaded. Lucas Tomlinson is in West Palm Beach, Florida, with
somebody say something about no new wars. Like, we'll probably be getting involved in that, because if you think that they will not kill those peaceful, any type of protester, that's the kind of people that run Iran. You cannot speak against them. And a peaceful protest is no different than a violent protest to people like him. People like that guy, there's no such thing as a peaceful protest. There will be deaths. I don't want it, but it's an inevitability. With regimes like this, we will be pulled into it. Mark my words. What are you doing, psychopath? Under the couch. Have to learn that sound now. Another thing he enjoys doing, laying under the couch. Yeah.
It's the very latest strong words from the president this morning, Lucas.
Indeed, Julie, good morning. These protests have been growing nationwide in Iran over the past 6 days and are now in at least 27 different cities, Julie. And as you mentioned, President Trump posting a stern warning to the regime just before 3 a.m. in Palm Beach. I'll read you the full text, Julie. It says, the president said, quote, if Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention to this matter. At least 6 people have been reportedly killed in the protest this week. It started among shopkeepers and merchants in Tehran's Grand Bazaar. Students have now taken to the street.
I didn't even have to watch the video. Didn't even have to watch it. And I already knew. That's these kind of people. You cannot protest them. You cannot turn against them. And this is essentially what our government proves to us, that we can't do the same thing.
Streets with truckers and bus drivers protesting runaway inflation, a currency that has lost 40% of its value since Israel launched its 12-day war against Iran, supported by those American B-2 bombers, stealth fighter jets, and Tomahawk cruise missiles from the guided missile submarine USS Georgia. Iran's Secretary of its National Security Council responding to Trump in a post of his own, saying, quote, Trump should know that American interference in this internal issue is equivalent to chaos across the entire region and the destruction of American interests. The American people should know it was Trump who started the adventurism. They should look after their soldiers. Here was President Trump earlier this week.
I'm not going to talk about overthrow of a regime. They've got a lot of problems that are in there. Tremendous inflation. Their economy is bust. Their economy is no good. And I know
He's why we're involved. He's why we're involved in Venezuela. He's why we're involved in Iran. Has nothing to do with the people of Iran. Has nothing to do with liberating the people of Iran. And to be fed that lie and to eat it and enjoy it. it kind of proves to me there's no hope for the citizens of this country.
No, the people aren't so happy, but don't forget, every time they have a riot or somebody forms a group, little or big, they start shooting people.
The editors of the Wall Street Journal wrote late yesterday that the Ayatollah depends on oil revenue to keep his commanders loyal. That oil revenue should be cut off. So too could be those loyalties. Julie?
Lucas Tomlinson, live in West Palm Beach, Florida. Thank you very much. For more on all of this, podcast host Ben Ferguson. Ben, thank you so much for...
Yeah, we already just heard about that. That's an hour. I'm gonna watch that. Friggin' psychopath, man. Oh!
You're sending investigators to California.
Go figure.
Try to get to the root of this welfare fraud.
Oh, buddy.
Has been so glaring and obvious about the fact that they're giving welfare benefits to illegal aliens. Like, that's not, you go to the California Medicaid website and they will advertise that they are spending American tax dollars to give Medicaid to illegal aliens. You think there's not fraud there? They're getting rich off of the generosity of the American taxpayer. The political corruption that enables it has got to stop, and that's what we're focused on.
Here we go. The White House expanding its crackdown on fraud as President Trump says California is more corrupt than Minnesota. So far, 2 people have been charged with corruption related to California's homeless services, and our next guest says more arrests are on the way.
First Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California, Bill Asaley, joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I know that you've already been investigating, as Griff was just saying. 2 people have already been charged and indicted, arrested. There are these 2 real estate executives for the homeless spending fraud. What exactly do you know? What's coming up in California? What will the Trump administration?
Oh yeah, and BB, just so happened that one of the key people on the BB's corruption trial, he died in a motorcycle accident the other day. Yeah. I think it was like one of the key investigators or something. Somebody key to that, to making sure he is charged and convicted of his crimes, died in a motorcycle accident. Oh yeah.
Exposed.
Well, listen, I'm uniquely situated. I served in the legislature there in California before the president appointed me to be the U.S. Attorney down in Los Angeles. The first thing I did was create the Homeless Fraud and Corruption Task Force. California has spent $24 billion in the last 5 years on homelessness, and no one can account for where that money has really gone for. So the first thing I did was set up that task force, and all we did is follow the money. We already charged millions of dollars in fraud. I can tell you more charges are coming probably as soon as this month, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Nobody has looked at the fraud in California because
Any state with Democrat policies.
Bill, so you said tip of the iceberg. We heard that in Minnesota.
And it's not really not even just the state, it's the more local level.
California risked $250 billion fraud, GOP candidates claim, after collecting whistleblower tips. What do you make of how big this may go?
Look, California's annual budget is $300 billion. Nobody does any accountability in the state of California. When is the last time you saw an oversight hearing or you saw the Attorney General indicting people for fraud? It does not happen in California. So we really don't know. So that's why the first thing I did, I said, we got to start looking at this. We put the FBI, the IRS, various OIGs. We're now taking a look at it. But what I have to tell the people is it takes time to do this properly, to get the evidence so we can charge the appropriate people. No matter who they are or how high up they are, we're going to go after it.
So Gavin Newsom's response to the president's quest to go after fraud says Gavin Newsom has been cleaning house since taking office. He's blocked over $125 billion in fraud, arrested criminal parasites leeching off taxpayers, and protected taxpayers from the exact kind of scam artist Trump celebrates, excuses and pardons.
It's really appropriate he has a crown on his head because he's the king of fraud. Look at the track record of the state of California. $20 billion in fraud just in the EDD program during COVID. And who ran that program? Julie Sue. What do they do?
He looks like a fraudster. He looks like he's trying to sell you beachfront property in Arizona.
There's no rail in California. Who took the money? He's the king of fraud. There's never been this much fraud in the history of in American history.
Well, that's what, you know what, there's Ro Khanna said the same thing. And I think it's going to be interesting because he thinks he's going to run for president. And he wants a bipartisan look at what's going on in California. As you know, he's a Democratic congressman from up in the Silicon Valley.
Well, they should be careful what they ask for because it's coming. The accountability is coming, and we're going to hold everyone accountable.
Real quick, Bill, so does the state of California have a programs auditor or manager to do oversight to stop fraud?
They have an attorney general. There is a state auditor, but everyone is part of the Democrat Party. So when I was up in the legislature, we tried to have meaningful accountability. There's no appetite. There's no interest because if they actually did the accountability, it would be an indictment on their programs and their leadership. And they don't want to do that. So they want the appearance of looking like they care about fraud, but they care more about pushing money out the door to appease their political constituency, to legally buy votes, than they do about cracking down on fraud. California's emptied its prisons. They have half as many prisoners as they did 10 years ago. They're not interested in fighting crime. They're interested in supporting criminals.
Yeah, and by the way, yesterday Sean Duffy said we're going to hold back $160 million because you have delay revoking 17,000 commercial driver's license to immigrants, many of which don't speak English.
More than illegal immigrants and criminals in the state of California. Just go look at
That's where a lot of the semi-drivers illegally here semi-drivers end up. They go to California, get get that license at no extra charge. They go for a driver's license and get handed a CDL at no extra charge. Pretty much where all that's taking place. Can I watch that? Yeah, I watched Candace. Yeah, don't fuck with the cats. Don't F with cats. Okie dokie. Still covering that. Coach Colin. Watch that later. I watched that the other day. Or yesterday. Looks fun. Come on, man.
Today we're here in Osaka, Japan to dive headfirst into the world of underground street racing. Specifically, Kanjo racing. But Japan's legal system is no joke. Some critics have referred to their system as hostage justice, with Japan's conviction rate exceeding over 99%. So what makes these drivers risk so much? What the hell is a Kanjozoku? We're going to uncover exactly what goes into building these cars, the strategy the police forces use to catch their targets, and by the end, if I play my cards right, I'll earn a seat to ride on the legendary Kanjo loop myself. Today we're here in Osaka, and we're hunting Kanjo Civics. Welcome to Donut. I've known about Osaka's Kanjo racers for some time, but to us in the West, they've always been shrouded in mystery.
When I was a young boy, there's only one time experience in the Kanjo, the Bozo, super crazy.
Want to see some racing?
The Civic wasn't as fast as its more powerful Japanese counterparts like the Nissan Skyline or Toyota Supra, but it was lightweight, high revving, and perfect for weaving through highway traffic while evading the police.
小学校6年とかやけど、その時はほとんどスカイライン。ということは車がめっちゃ多い時に上がってるから、そしたらみんなやっぱシビックとかの方がすり抜けしやすいというか。
The Kanjozoku and their Civics soon became the dominating force on the Osaka highways. The three most popular Civic chassis that Kanjo racers are known for using are the EF, EG, and EK. This is a perfect example of what a Kanjozoku Civic might be. It's got no interior, the driver's seat in a precarious position, and this racing net, which may or may not block the driver's face. Now, a lot of these cars run the B series engine, varying from the B16 to the B18. The good thing about these engines is you can swap out parts. It's kind of like one big Lego. A lot of these cars run different wheels, from SSR Type Cs to Enki RPF1s and even TE37s. It really doesn't matter. They all look really good. But my favorite is the SSR Type C. But what really makes a Kanjo Civic? The exhaust.
The little.
Do you have a lot of customers who run the Kanjo?
日本の至る所にカメラが普通の一般道からなのでもう逃げれないです。けど昔は多分それでカメラでナンバープレートから探し出すがとかが多かった。
Another tool police
Have you tomorrow morning.
This device uses GPS signal from devices in your car to track your speed.
調査本部が、解散するまで電源切ってるんだ。だから家に帰らんと電源切ったら GPS で飛んでくるやんか、携帯で。だから電源落としたまま。
With the rollout of new technology, including AI facial recognition software and GPS tracking, sometimes the police don't even need to chase you. They'll just quietly build a case digitally and then show up at your door in the middle of the night. They can track your device's GPS from a street race to your house and use AI to match your biometrics, like your ears, from camera footage to your social media photos. Critics in Japan have said, in today's society, where the advanced digital technology and the internet are widely used, extracting the individual's unique information from images of the whole body and face makes it possible to collect and record.
And the thing of it is, I had said it not long ago. We do that in America anyway. We are always plugged in and broadcasting ourselves and every bit of our lives.
Record behavioral history without consent. But I'll let you decide if the safety benefits outweigh the loss.
The difference in us is we choose to. That's our choice to stay constantly live and plugged in. There, they don't have a choice. European countries don't have a choice. England doesn't have a choice. It's like some of these countries do not have choices. We do.
Loss of privacy. Still, the severity has made Kanjo racers extremely hard to find. Team. Short of intoxication. When the roads are mountains, they go into running who've chosen a different home turf. Take care of me. Let's have fun. The Kanjo racers have evolved into running the local tow roads as well. My balls are rattling! Alright, so tonight, we're not on the loop. We're actually going to the mountains to go see what some of these Civics can do in their natural environment. Mountain racing is dangerous, but these guys wait to go out after 2 a.m. when the roads are mostly empty of the public.
It's honestly very interesting to see the disposition of outlaw street racers who are trying to be courteous with others.
I'm eating my chair, man. Who's over there eating my chair?
It wakes you up.
Goddamn beaver. I thought I adopted a rabbit. I didn't know I adopted a beaver. Where's his damn tail? I've never seen a white beaver either.
The group took off, and I was split from the rest of the donut team.
So, yeah, I think we were evading some sort of enforcement, and now we're in what looks like a car wash parking lot. Yeah, we're off the main road for sure.
Did you see Jimmy in the? I thought I saw him in there.
I'm using Google Translate to the best of my ability. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the other guys and see where we go.
Now I want to be clear. We're not condoning anything you see here today. We are simply journalists with an intention to film, understand, and archive a time and scene as we find it. I think it's important that stuff like this is documented. From the moment we landed in Osaka, we had one goal: to ride and document the Kanjo Loop with a team. And when we least expected it, our fixers Lucas and John received a call from someone who won't be named, a man in the Shadow Realm, and secured me a spot on a Kanjo run.
So we're here on the side of the road. A couple guys. We're outside a pachinko shop. You just got the go-ahead. I'll see you on the other side, brother.
Why are you crawling up to that?
Hello, boss son. Oh. All right, identity protected. All right, so I'm here with my buddy Jason Voorhees. We're entering the Kanjo Loop now.
What are you doing?
Whoa, warming up the tires.
My buddy Alex was filming in the Civic behind me.
Kanjo. That's where we're going, Kanjo. Whoa! Oh, camera. Oh my God. This is nothing like the C1 loop.
This is an experience of a lifetime. But I gotta say, while I'm sitting here riding shotgun on the loop, I can't help but think if this is actually that different from reckless drivers that stream back home. We romanticize the illegal car culture at hand. While there is a stricter code of conduct and it feels more sanctioned, you can't ignore that people do get hurt doing this.
Now the loop takes about 5 minutes to go around, which means these guys can stay on here all night. And really, they only have to slow down for a few cameras here and there. Right now, they're using this Prius as a blocking car. And there's another one at the back of our convoy that's also a blocking car. And they're acting as blockers for this little convoy of ours. So if we do run into a police presence, they're using them to hold off the police so that we can get away. It's one of the many tactics that the Kanjo guys use so that they can do this all night long. Go! Oh, that was so nuts.
The Kanjozoku has survived police crackdowns, new laws, and the changing streets of Osaka. But now, with AI surveillance and GPS tracking, the game is evolving again. So the question remains, does the Kanjo spirit find a way to stay ahead, or will they slowly fade out? Only one thing's for sure. Somewhere out there, in your neighborhood, right now, there's a Honda Civic bouncing off the rev limiter with a laptop in the passenger seat and a heart full of dreams. A huge thanks to our friends Lucas, Robert, and John for making this whole thing possible. We'll put their links down below in the bio. Check them out.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Japan. We'll see you next time.
I didn't mean to let that run as long as that was. I just want to see some street racing.
No. I'm about for 1 minute. No. Let's see if you can survive that 1 minute.
Let's do 1 minute. Not too fast. Holy shit.
I think that dude, wasn't that dude caught? He was caught.
There's a dangerous trend known as throughway swimming. It's when cars drive recklessly on highways, causing near misses or weaving through lanes.
I'm pretty sure that kid was caught. Him.
Do you feel like you're a danger to society?
No.
How worried are you about being caught by the police?
Not worried at all. My name is AJ, and I strike cars from this. We basically just got chased by undercovers right now.
Just how?
Yeah, like 30 minutes ago. I'm a crazy driver, and do not try to replicate what I do. It's dangerous, it can cause injury or death. Follow the free law.
Last year we dropped an explosive documentary with Sweet Ben and the swim team, and this video peeked behind the curtain on New York's underground. Home Depot of all places.
And I have my own car. I'm still doing my own car. And it's hot, you know, when I'm making videos and stuff. But I got my boys who really don't care about none of that shit, you know. How you feeling?
I feel like the beginning, right before you make the bungee jump, like I feel the build up, like you've walked to the top, you put the belt on, and now you know you have to jump off, but you kind of don't want to. That's a little bit how I feel right now.
How about this? I'm about for 1 minute only, and me see if you can survive that 1 minute.
Let's do 1 minute. I'm gonna put the timer on, okay? And?
Ready?
Holy mother. Yeah, we're on. There's nothing too fast.
He's gonna bug out for a minute.
Oh my god. Hey, Lordy, Lordy, come on. Come on. Easy, Tiger, not too fast, not too fast. I can do the cutting, but the speed is what scares me. Oh, that was a close call. Okay. Please, God almighty. Heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up. Okay, you got 10 seconds left. No, don't go faster though. Please, dude. Holy shit, are you serious? Okay, good. Time. Good, cut. I'm sweating, dude. Oh, Lord, that was exciting. Because I didn't even let Squeeze Ben go that far. Like, there were so many times where I thought that was going to be it. What's the fastest you ever gone in a car?
I hit 195 before. I've never, my dream is to always do 200, but I haven't had the right car to do it in.
Do you ever feel guilty doing this? Like, hey, I'm doing something that puts other people at great risk?
If I've ever, like, scraped someone's car, you know, tapped his mirror, or, like, even touched him, I feel like I would feel guilty, but I've never felt guilty doing it.
Talk about the difficulty of getting away from police in these circumstances.
That was stolen. That was stolen by another rental company, actually. They tried to swap parts out. We kind of got an alert from the tracker saying that, hey, the device is disconnected.
It's the Kia boy.
So someone probably just crashed their car here.
This was a crash, a simple plaster job type shit. You can see honestly because of the paint. Yeah, this was a bad accident, but this is also a beater. So
it's probably someone.
I mean, yeah, it's registered and it has the inspection. So this is probably a legit car that was just involved in a bad accident and they didn't want to go through insurance. So once again, you can get a whole job done for under $1,000. You can get and once again, we're in New York. We're in the most expensive city in the world. So an average shop, let's say they charge $5,000. Out here, you go to the right Spanish guy, you're the right person. All of a sudden, you're paying $600 for the same job with labor.
So if I have to get rid of something, do I come to a place like this to get it crushed or taken care of?
Like we had spoken to our man about, you can either strip the car clean, which depending on what type of striker it is, if it's a low-level striker, maybe you just set it on fire. Maybe you bring it here for junk. Maybe you try to sell it for $100, $200, which is a huge thing. After the car gets crashed, let's say before it was crashed, it was $8,000. Now that the car is crashed, if the airbags didn't go out, maybe it's $5,000. If the airbags went out, you can get that car for $1,000. And it could be a really high trim BMW or a Benz. It could be an insanely nice car that you got for 99% off, even of striker price, just because it was involved in an accident.
Resale market. Insane. Resale market is insane. Got the Yeah, to be honest, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. A lot of crazy happened. Could have been a bad situation today. I think I'm gonna go. It's 2 o'clock. So I think I'm gonna go chill. Until the next time. Be chill. Kill yourself. Chill the hell out. Stop acting loud.